we can all, very easily just remove the background of a photo and then add a background in, right? That's easy. But does it blend well? Does it harmonize with the foreground subject? So in this particular case, I've gone ahead and removed the background with the taskbar at the bottom, but I can generate background and I'll just do something simple like a park. And what it's going to try to do is generate the background of a park that also harmonizes well with the foreground subject. So the lighting should match. Now, I will add a bit of a disclaimer. Now, while these ones look decent, especially this one here, sometimes the results right now that we're in beta are very hit or miss. I don't want to sugarcoat this and say this is the greatest feature ever. Sometimes very hit or miss, right? So you may find backgrounds that just aren't what you're looking for. Some of them are a little bit mangled, but it's in beta. Things are going to get better over time, right? And we also have, we've upgraded the generative fill model, but previously it was image model 1, now it's image model 3, right? So let's say you are a terrible person like I am, and you want to remove all these very cute dogs from this photo. Why would you do that? I have no idea. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a very basic selection around all these incredibly adorable dogs. All right, so I've gone ahead and selected all these dogs. There's many ways you can select these dogs, but I want to show you previously, you would probably try content aware fill, which is our AI technology from I think like 2015, something like that, right? Let me actually do just the fill and press OK, right? And we're going to get something that looks like this. Now, what content aware fill is doing is it's kind of guessing what's going on in this photo because it doesn't understand the photo. It doesn't know that those are dogs and these are stairs and there's banisters and that sort of thing. It has no idea. It doesn't understand. So it's kind of looking at textures and lighting and little bits and pieces and is literally just like copying and pasting and trying to blend things together. But with generative fill, which is down on your taskbar or under the edit menu down over here, if I want to remove these dogs, I simply have to press generate. And because of the new AI technology, it truly understands. Like it literally knows that these are dogs. It knows that these are stairs. It understands perspective and all sorts of different things. And what we should start to see is a much more cohesive result. And again, 3 different options, right? So we have the before and the after. It looks like those dogs weren't even there in the first place. So that is how drastically improved our AI technology has gotten over the last, decade, right? 2015, I think, is when content aware was introduced. And now we have generative fill, which is mind blowing. And there's a lot of other things that we can do with this, including, reference image, which we just added, which again, kind of like generate background is very hit or miss at the moment. I will be honest. But, if I wanted to select this jacket, let me go ahead and use my object selection tool to select the jacket. I'm going to leave it as is. Of course, I can, tweak it a little bit if I wanted to. But if I hop into generative fill, you're going to notice this new option right down here, which is reference image. And I can go ahead and choose an image. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this hoodie, which I generated using Firefly. Or if you have one that you're working with, you can always choose that as well. I'm going to open that and I can simply press generate. And what it's going to try to do is generate me a new jacket in the right perspective, with the right lighting, with the hoodie that I added in. And let's see if it gives me good results. Not too bad, right? Again, this feature can be very hit or miss. If I were to add in something drastically different, let's say, this jacket over here, right? Which is a lot of wild patterns and things like that. We might see something that looks a little bit mismatched. Again, we're in beta. Things are always improving and changing. Hopefully, by the time it comes out of beta, it'll be quite a bit better. But let's see what happens. I mean, it's not bad, right? It might give you a starting point to kind of, start editing and make it look a little bit better. But again, hit or miss. Some of the features are better than others. I like being honest, but there's a lot of like practical things you can do with generative fill. I was sent this image by a photographer and he's like, how can I deal with some of the stray hairs on this woman's face with generative fill? Very easy, actually. Let's say your lasso tool. You can make one selection. You can make multiple selections if you wanted to, right? We'll just do one selection. generative fill, and generate. And in some cases, it might add a few extra stray hairs, but for the most part, it's going to do a pretty decent job at trying to naturally clean up things like stray hairs, like that, right? And that looks. This one is a little bit of a hard edge, but for the most part, it's not bad. And you can, it comes with a layer mask, right? So I can dive in here and just select that. If I wanted some of the stray hairs to, come back, I can always increase my brush, reduce the hardness, and, just very subtly brush back in. And you're noticing, maybe you're not noticing, I don't know. Just today is like bug central, isn't it? Very bizarre. I'm running it out. This is why things are in beta, right? But you get the idea, right? Practically, you can use generative fill to very quickly remove complex objects, adjust things like stray hairs, or you can have fun and replace the jacket that we saw a little bit earlier, right?